On August 24, someone whispered your name in a ritual and Archangel Michael intercepted it midair. He's been holding it back ever since, but you have 3 minutes left before it reaches you. Open this now. August 24 was never just another date. In the eternal ledger of heaven, it was circled, marked, sealed. A moment in the unseen where light and darkness collided in silence. On that day, while many walked unaware, scrolling, sleeping, eating, moving through the mundane, a whisper pierced the veil. A whisper cloaked in secrecy. A name spoken not with honor but with intention, your name. Far away from the eyes of men, someone bent the knee, but not in prayer, not in repentance, not in surrender. They bowed for a ritual. Their lips moved, but not in worship. Their voice echoed, but not in praise. They carried a list, but not of blessings. Somewhere in a darkened room, with shadows stretching like claws, they summoned your name. Not once. Not by accident. Deliberately. Boldly. Silently. They whispered your name into a spiritual chamber, hoping it would travel unopposed. But what they didn't know, what they could never anticipate, is that heaven was listening. Before the darkness could complete its circuit, before the curse could reach its mark, before the whisper could be received, a sudden flash tore across the spirit realm. And in that flash, Archangel Michael descended. The commander, a defender, the one whose sword does not miss. He intercepted your name midair. Between the invocation and the impact, he stood. Between their words and your spirit, he hovered. The spiritual transaction was paused, suspended, frozen in divine deliberation. But this delay isn't indefinite. The intersection wasn't permanent. It was a divine pause, not a cancellation. And now, time is cracking open. The final 3 minutes of this holy holding pattern are collapsing. The name is still hovering. Your name, suspended in tension, held by a celestial grip. But Michael cannot hold it forever. This message is not for all. It is only for the ones who have felt a tremor in their soul since August 24. The ones whose dreams have shifted. The ones who have heard the whisper before the wind even moved. You are not crazy. You are not paranoid. You are spiritually sensitive because you were chosen. And now the final condition remains: stillness, silence, and obedience, not reaction, will determine your survival. Heaven has spoken. The heavens are watching. And now the countdown begins. Type "I am chosen" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Hear now, O listener. For this is not a message, this is an intervention. This is not a story, this is a summons. And if your spirit trembles even slightly right now, if your chest feels tight, if your hands feel heat, if your eyes begin to water, you have been called. Heaven is pulling you into alignment. The sword of the Archangel has been drawn, and your name is suspended on the edge of it. Archangel Michael, God's appointed general of the heavenly armies, the one who stood against the dragon in Revelation 12, has been dispatched to fight on your behalf. He did not come because you asked. He came because the Father saw what was spoken in darkness. He came because the plans of the enemy touch divine boundaries, and those boundaries cannot be crossed without consequence. Someone spoke your name as if they owned it, but heaven corrected them. Someone whispered in secret what they thought would never be heard, but it echoed into the courts of the Almighty. There was a moment, just days ago, where time paused, not on earth, but in the spirit. A stillness settled in your soul. You may not have recognized it, but you felt it. Something tried to arrive in your atmosphere. A confusion, a sudden heaviness, an unexplainable sadness or fear. And yet, it didn't land, and didn't settle, because Michael stepped between the sender and the receiver. And now your name, your identity, is caught mid-air, wrapped in divine light and judgment. He is still holding it. But for how long? This message comes to you with 3 minutes of divine mercy. 3 minutes that will decide whether what was spoken continues forward or is completely dismantled. This is not poetic. This is not metaphor. This is spiritual law in real time. Rituals move fast. Curses travel in silence. But the word of the Lord travels faster still. That is why you must hear this. You are not crazy, and you are not alone. You are under watch. You are under command. But this interception has come with questions. Questions that demand holy discernment. Why your name? Why now? Who dared speak it in a ritual? What did they think would happen? What energy did they try to transfer? Why would someone risk divine retaliation just to whisper you into a demonic agreement? The answer is unsettling, because your name has weight. In the spirit realm, your name has a sound, a frequency, a signature. Your presence causes disruption to the plans of darkness. And someone, somewhere, grew threatened enough to try to reroute your path through a counterfeit spiritual transaction. But what they didn't account for is the warrior watching you. The archangel assigned to intercept premature warfare. Michael moved because he knew the time was near. He stepped in because destiny must not be delayed. And now, you have felt it. I'd shift. That tremble. That strange awareness that you've been the subject of conversations you didn't hear, battles you didn't start, attacks you didn't deserve. And yet, here you are. Still standing. Still called. Still covered. This word is not for the lukewarm. It is not for the casual believer. It is not for the distracted. It is for the one who feels the shaking, the one who hears the unseen approaching, the one who knows they were marked long before the attack was made. The selective nature of this revelation is proof of how serious heaven is about your survival. This is your moment to stand still, to quiet your flesh, to lean in. Because your silence right now is not weakness, it is warfare. You are under divine review. And what happens next will not be based on your enemy's power, but on your response to this message. There are less than 3 minutes remaining. Let the spirit of obedience rise now. Heaven is speaking. Are you listening? Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. There are moments in your life where the spirit picks up what the mind cannot comprehend. Moments where you walk into a room and feel something shift. No words spoken, no stares exchanged, yet something unseen tightens around your soul. You felt this. You sensed the disturbance. It wasn't loud. It didn't announce itself. But something in the spirit trembled, and so did you. What you're feeling isn't paranoia, it's prophetic sensitivity. It's the inner alarm system God placed inside the chosen to detect spiritual movement long before it manifests. You've tried to shake it. You've told yourself it's just overthinking. But deep down, you know, someone's watching. Someone is speaking. Someone whispered your name not out of love, but out of jealousy, resentment, curiosity, and hidden obsession. You felt it. And you weren't wrong. What they said behind closed doors wasn't ordinary gossip. It was laced with intention. It was spoken not just with bitterness, but with spiritual strategy. They didn't just talk about you, they summoned energy against you. I didn't just vent, they declared. And that declaration began to move through the spiritual atmosphere, gaining momentum, gathering force, until Michael caught it. Your name, beloved, was uttered in a ritual. Perhaps not the kind that includes candles and chants. No, something even more sinister. The kind of ritual hidden in conversations laced with curses, masked as concern. The kind of ritual that uses human mouths as altars and their bitterness as incense. A grue, a whisper, a smirk, a spell cast with no spellbook. They knew just enough of your past to make accusation, but not enough of your future to stop what's coming. This is why you've been unsettled. This is why your sleep has been disrupted, your appetite dulled, your joy invaded. The spiritual attack has tried to cloak itself in normalcy, but your spirit saw through it. You have been discerning even when you didn't know why. And now heaven confirms it. Yes, your name was whispered. Yes, you were targeted. And yes, Archangel Michael intervened. But now the silence is pressing in heavier. It's not just the absence of noise, it's the presence of hidden activity. You can feel it. A betrayal you haven't confirmed. The conversation you weren't invited to. The strange shift in people's tone when your name enters the room. Something has been off, but you haven't had the proof until now. This is your confirmation. They know a version of you, a past version, a weakened version, a broken version. But they do not know who you are becoming. They do not know what heaven is building in you. They are waging war based on an outdated blueprint of your life. Their attack is misinformed because they did not consult the author of your future. They don't know about the divine promotion, the unlocking, a spiritual growth, the transformation. And this is why it's dangerous. Because their ritual wasn't about where you've been. It was designed to stop where you're going. But let me ask you this, who are they to think your name was theirs to speak? What gave them the boldness to think they could rewrite your spiritual path with a whisper? What did they see in you that made them gather? What did they fear enough to plot in silence? The answer is simple but heavy. They saw your potential before you saw it yourself. They caught a glimpse of your favor before you even recognized it. They heard your elevation in the wind and panicked. But their panic became a portal and their ritual became your revelation. For now, what they tried to keep hidden has been exposed by heaven. Let your soul absorb this truth. You are not the version of yourself they prepared for. You are rising, and it is terrifying them. Type "I receive divine revelation" in the comments. Blessing code 1919 is flowing through your spirit. If you feel the weight of this word, if your heart is pounding and your spirit is stirred, know this. You're not just watching, you're being called to partner in what heaven is doing. Every time you sow into this mission, you're helping God's word intercept the whispers of the enemy in someone else's life. Just like Archangel Michael intercepted your name, your support allows this message to intercept destinies hanging in the balance. God said in 2 Corinthians 9:10, "He who supplies seed to the sower and bread for food will also supply and increase your store of seed." That's a promise to you. I feel led to say this right now. If the Spirit nudges you, don't ignore it. Be part of this prophetic mission through YouTube's Super Thanks, memberships, or even through PayPal in the description below. This is no ordinary moment. So like you're being watched by heaven, because you are. And as you do, I speak this blessing over you. May your seed break cycles, unlock overflow, and return to you sevenfold. Step into it now. Don't delay. Don't wait. Obey. Let every distraction be silenced now. Let every wandering thought bow. Let your soul sit upright. Because what you are about to hear is not for the faint, not for the lukewarm, and not for those who want comfort over clarity. This is for the awakened. This is for the ones whose spirit has been under siege and didn't know why. This is for the called. This battle you're sensing, this strange aggression, this unexplainable pressure, this persistent resistance in your life, it's not just coincidence, and it's not just jealousy. It's spiritual warfare. This isn't just people having a problem with you. This is principalities taking notice of your movement. This isn't just emotional turbulence. This is a declaration of war in the unseen realm. Someone spoke your name, and they thought it was just a whisper. But that whisper was received as a summons in the spirit. Your name, when spoken, doesn't just echo, it activates. It stirs angelic realms. It disturbs demonic ones. Because your name carries authority. Not because of what you've done, but because of what heaven has written concerning you. The enemy is not intimidated by your past. They are terrified of your future. That's why they're trying to disrupt the process before the prophecy manifests. You must understand this. The reason they gathered, the reason they whispered, the reason they dared to include your name in the ritual is because you're dangerous to darkness. Your obedience is dangerous. Your healing is dangerous. Your rising is dangerous. You are not under attack because you're weak. You are under attack because you're weighty. You're not being targeted because you're lost. You're being hunted because you're called. This is deeper than gossip. This is deeper than emotional betrayal. This is not just someone talking behind your back. This is the enemy trying to activate a curse against your calling. But what they didn't factor in was the surveillance of heaven. God was watching. Michael was waiting. The heavens were listening. And when the transaction began in darkness, divine light intercepted it. When Michael caught your name midair, it wasn't just protection. It was legal action in the courts of heaven. Your name, written in the Lamb's Book of Life, cannot be traded without consequence. Every whisper against you, every altar that tried to receive your name, now finds itself subject to divine review. For every tongue that rose against you, the judgment is already being written. But here's the part you must grasp: your reaction determines the result. This is not just about what they did. This is about what you will do now. Will you respond in fear or in faith? Will you retaliate in the flesh or war in the spirit? Will you try to fight back using natural tools, or will you stay still and let heaven finish what it started? God has recorded every word spoken in secret. He has seen every plan written in shadows. He knows who invoked your name and why. And while the enemy plots, heaven has already established your protection. This conflict is not your undoing. It is your confirmation. The warfare is not punishment. It is proof of your anointing. When the enemy tried to release the ritual, they did not expect it to expose the reality. You are chosen. You are covered. And you are surrounded. The battle is real, yes, but so is the power that walks with you. Heaven has not left you defenseless. You are not fragile. You are not forsaken. You are not forgotten. You are armed in the Spirit. You are guarded by angels. You are hidden under the shadow of the Almighty. And this conflict, as heavy as it feels, is heaven's way of announcing, you matter. So hear this as a divine announcement. The spiritual realm has recognized your presence. And now, every whisper, every ritual, every dark intention must now answer to the weight of your calling. This is not the end. This is the elevation. Type "I choose to war" in the Spirit in the comments. Blessing code 888 is now flowing over you like armor. Listen closely, because what I say to you now carries the weight of eternity. This is not a drill. This is not metaphor. This is not hypothetical. This is prophetic intelligence. And if you are still hearing this message, it means you still have time, but barely. The silence you've been sitting in is not stillness. It is spiritual suspension. The quiet you felt is not peace. It is pause before eruption. Archangel Michael has been holding it back, but the pressure is building. What they began on August 24 was not a one-time event. The ritual was a signal, an initiation of a larger strategy. The whisper was not their end goal. It was their opening move. And while your name was intercepted mid-air, the spirits behind the ritual did not stop moving. They are regrouping. They are circling. They are recalibrating. And heaven is watching. In the realm of the unseen, time is not measured like hours or days. It is measured in obedience and disobedience. It is measured in delay or alignment. But here's what the Spirit is saying now. Within 72 hours, movement will begin to manifest. You may not see it with your natural eyes right away, but your spirit will feel it instantly. The air will shift. The environment will hum with unspoken pressure. Phone calls may get strange. Conversations may turn left. People who were once warm may turn cold. Do not mistake this for random discomfort. This is the manifestation of a war that was once invisible. The next phase has begun. The enemy is agitated because what was intercepted must now either return to sender or break through to you. And Michael cannot hold it forever. The countdown you've been warned of, it wasn't symbolic. It's divine reality. 3 minutes in the spirit realm can be a day, an hour, a moment. But the consequence of delay is always the same. If you do not act when heaven speaks, you give permission to the enemy to proceed. This is why the whisper was spoken in the first place. Not just to curse you, but to activate passivity. To make you silent. Confuse it. Hesitant. Distracted. To make you believe that because nothing dramatic happened, that maybe nothing happened at all. But that, child of God, is the trap. That is the deception. The absence of fireworks is not the absence of fire. The enemy moves in shadows because he knows the obedient are sensitive to light. And if he can convince you to dismiss this moment, he gains access through your ignorance. But now that you know, you are accountable. You can no longer say, "I didn't realize." You can no longer pretend this is just coincidence. There's too much clarity, too much confirmation, too much divine alignment in what you've been feeling lately. The restlessness, the tension, the waking up at 2:22, 3:33, 4:44, the sudden fatigue when you try to pray, the spiritual numbness that tries to dull your discernment. It is all part of the escalation. Heaven is alert. Michael is still posted. But now, the shift moves to you. What will you do in the final minutes? Will you pray? Will you fast? Will you shut off the noise and open your spirit? Or will you wait until the blow lands to cry out for help? This is not a message of fear. It is a call to holy preparation. Because what was released will try again. But this time, it must find you stronger, wiser, cloaked in light, and unmoved by the shadows. What comes next is not accidental. It is scheduled. The pressure will increase, but the power within you will rise to meet it. You must remember this. The ritual was never just about you. It was about everyone attached to your calling. Evol. If you fold, they suffer. That is why the enemy invested so much energy into whispering your name. You are a gate, a vessel, a key, a deliverer, a foreigner. And heaven has declared you will not be touched unless you walk away from the covering. Unless you delay obedience, unless you shrink back. This is the hour of clarity. This is the moment of decision. The whisper has echoed. The ritual is unfolding. But you, yes, you, are not powerless. You are not unguarded. You are anointed and dangerous. Type "I will not fold" in the comments if you receive this warning. Blessing code 7070 is circling your destiny. There is a sound in the spirit that is louder than thunder, yet it requires no words. It is the sound of obedience. It is the sound of stillness. It is the sound of a chosen one who refuses to react out of fear, but who instead waits for the whisper of the Lord before they move. This is where you are now. You have not come this far to break. You have not survived the initial whisper to be destroyed by your own reaction. This is your moment to step into divine stillness, not to retreat, but to fortify. Let your spirit hear this clearly. Be still. Be silent. Be led. Do not defend yourself in the flesh. Do not try to explain to those who were never meant to understand. Do not clap back. Do not respond to the tension with tension. Because your silence right now is not weakness. It is warfare. You are being cloaked. You are being hidden. You are being moved out of sight so that heaven can complete its work. The trap set against you was designed to provoke a reaction. It was a ritual rooted in agitation. It wanted to make you panic, to make you speak too soon, to cause you to send texts you shouldn't send, to cause you to open your mouth and say things that would shift the legal balance in the spirit realm. Because in this hour, your words carry legal weight. Your sound is being recorded in the realm of the unseen. That's why the instruction is clear. Pray in whispers, not in shouts. You don't need to announce your warfare to the world. You don't need to tell everyone that you're under attack. You don't need to prove your innocence to the ones who already decided to misread you. Because heaven has already filed the case. The judge is seated. The angels are summoned. Michael is standing. A verdict is forming. And if you remain in alignment, if you remain still, you will be vindicated without lifting a finger. Remember this, heaven fights differently than earth. Earth wants revenge. Heaven executes justice. Earth wants exposure. Heaven brings reversal. Earth screams. Heaven whispers, and yet the whisper of God can collapse an entire kingdom. That is what's being done for you now. What they whispered to wound you, heaven is whispering back to shield you. Your instruction in this hour is not to strive, but to watch. Not to force about to flow. Not to speak to man, but to speak to God. Go into your secret place. Stand under the covering. Speak only what is led. Resist the urge to retaliate. Pull back from the chaos. Let your enemies choke on their own silence while your spirit soars in supernatural peace. For I tell you the truth, what was formed against you is returning to sender. Sevenfold. The ritual that was launched, the gossip that was weaponized, the energy that was directed, it is already reversing. The more still you become, the louder the echo of their own attack returns to their doorstep. Your stillness is not just your survival, it is divine revenge without sin. It is mercy for your soul and judgment for theirs. In the coming days you may feel the urge to reach out, to explain, to clear the air. But do not. Heaven is clearing it for you. Let the fog lift by divine command, not by emotional reaction. Stay in your posture. Stay in your peace. Because what God is doing now is beyond your defense. He is not defending who you were. He is protecting who you are becoming. Rest in this. You are surrounded. You are sealed. And you are under divine review. The sword of Michael is still drawn. The throne of God is still watching. And your name is still being held, suspended between ritual and release, but only if you remain still long enough to be delivered through. This is the discipline of the chosen. This is the posture of the anointed. Let stillness be your weapon. Let silence be your shield. For what was spoken in shadows has no dominion over a soul rooted in light. Type "my silence is my shield" in the comments if you're receiving this divine instruction. Blessing code 3232 is now surrounding your mind and atmosphere. Now hear this, and let it burn into your spirit. You are no longer who they think you are. The version of you they attack no longer exists. The version they whispered about has already been buried. The name they spoke on August 24 belonged to someone who was already dying in the cocoon of transformation. They summoned a shadow of your former self, not realizing that heaven has already initiated the emergence of your true identity. This war wasn't just about the attack, it was about the unveiling. The shaking wasn't just about resistance, it was about resurrection. And now, even as the whispers try to stick, even as the ritual tries to find a place to land, your spirit is rising in fire. Wings are unfolding. Chains are breaking. Old labels are being incinerated in the furnace of divine pressure. You are not the victim, you are the warrior. They thought you'd break, but you're being built. They thought you'd fold, but you're being forged. They thought they had you figured out, but God never revealed your full design to them. What they thought would be your end was only an indication that promotion was already in motion. You were never meant to remain small. You were never called to be understood by everyone. Your calling was not created to be comfortable. You are not here to fit in. You are here to break patterns, shatter altars, and unlock doors for the generations that come after you. This is why the ritual was done in darkness, because light like yours terrifies people who have married their identity to familiarity. Let this truth settle into your bones. They feared what they couldn't name. They whispered because they couldn't comprehend the glory that was forming around you. They invoked your name because they were intimidated by the presence you carry, the presence you haven't even fully stepped into yet. They were afraid of what your full obedience could do. Because full obedience is dangerous. It dismantles systems. It uproots cycles. It exposes false altars. And that's what you're carrying now, dangerous obedience. Your identity is no longer passive. Your spirit has awakened. There is a new sound rising from your belly, not a cry of fear, but a roar of revelation. You are remembering who you are. You are recognizing what you carry. You are reclaiming your place. You are not merely surviving the ritual, you are transcending it. You are now the proof that no weapon formed against the obedient will prosper. The warfare was allowed because heaven needed a furnace hot enough to extract what was hidden in you. That pressure wasn't a curse, it was a mirror. It showed you the strength you've ignored, the boldness you've suppressed, the fire you thought had died. But now you know. You are not fragile. You are fireborn. You are not broken. You are battle-tested. You are not fading. You are forming. What they tried to bind has become your badge. What they tried to curse has become your calling card. And now, your very existence is a threat to every altar that dares to rise against you. Your posture of stillness has confused the enemy, and now, as you rise in power, their fear will turn to silence. But this is not the time to boast. This is not the time to gloat. This is the time to move in purpose. Step with holy precision. Speak only what is necessary. Walk like you know angels are beside you. Move like someone who knows their name has been held in heaven's hand, not to be destroyed, but to be recommissioned. So now the world must adjust. The ones who thought they knew you must now face a new version of you. And even you must get acquainted with the anointing you're carrying. Because it is heavier. It is brighter. It is untouchable. This is your shift. This is your rise. The whisper was only confirmation. The ritual was only validation. The attack was only proof that you've become unstoppable. Type "I have risen in power" in the comments if you're walking in your true identity. Blessing code 5555 is awakening inside of you now. The whisper wasn't just an attack. The ritual wasn't just an act of war. What they did in the dark, what they muttered in secrecy, what they summoned in silence was not just aimed to stop you. It was meant to confirm you. Let that revelation break open in your spirit. The moment they spoke your name in a ritual was the same moment heaven declared your elevation publicly in the spirit realm. You didn't need an announcement. You didn't need a platform. You didn't need applause. Because when the enemy performs a ritual against you, it is only because heaven has already placed a mantle on you. What they tried to bind was already being lifted. What they tried to silence was already being amplified. What they thought was hidden was actually a revelation playing out in full display before the eyes of God. And now the mystery unravels. They didn't choose your name. Heaven did. Long before they whispered, long before they gathered, long before they struck their hands and mumbled curses under breath, your name had already been spoken in the highest realm. Angels had already been assigned. Destiny had already been carved. Fire had already been lit beneath your feet. The enemy moved because he heard what you hadn't even heard yet. Your next level was approaching. Yes, this is what they responded to. Not your current success, not your present status, but the sound of your future. The whisper was not a reaction to your weakness. It was a desperate response to your unreleased potential. And when they tried to bind your name, they unknowingly marked you as untouchable. When they attempted to curse you, they became the unwilling participants in your divine promotion. Let me say this again for the soul that's still waking up. They called your name because heaven already announced it. The demonic realm doesn't move without provocation. The entity does not summon unless he sets his movement. And the reason your name was drawn into that ritual is because, in the spirit realm, you were already rising like a fire they couldn't contain. The attempt to spiritually assassinate you has become your public coronation in the heavens. The enemy exposed himself too early. The ritual exposed their fear. And God used it to uncover what was hidden from your own eyes, your true value, your hidden strength, your divine momentum. So don't be afraid of what you heard. Don't be anxious about the warfare. Don't shrink back when you feel the heat rising. Because this is not the fire meant to consume you. This is the fire sent to refine you. You are being revealed. You are being solidified. You are being awakened. The ritual wasn't your rejection. It was your recognition. You are now living proof that even when hell tries to bind you, heaven will bless you in front of your enemies. You are the evidence that the anointing cannot be silenced by demonic interference. You are the vessel that has been tested by whisper and warfare and found worthy. Let the spiritual realm record this now. You were marked. You were targeted. You were summoned in a ritual. But instead of destruction, you received elevation. Instead of bondage, you received boldness. Instead of fear, you've been awakened into divine fire. You are now in a moment of holy visibility. What was done to hide you has failed. What was done to sabotage you has backfired. What was meant to delay you has become the activation of your acceleration. The chains have been seen. The angels have been released. And now, the sky above your life is opening with thunderous clarity. The oil is being poured. The light is increasing. The darkness is retreating. Because you are no longer waiting for permission to walk in destiny. Destiny is demanding that you take your place now. This is your prophetic revelation. This is your unveiling. The ritual didn't curse you. It crowned you. Type "I am walking into my crowning" in the comments if this prophetic word hits your spirit. Blessing code 8080 is being released over your life now. If this revelation is waking something up inside you, then listen carefully. You weren't just meant to receive this word. You were chosen to carry it forward. What the enemy tried to bury in a ritual, God has resurrected as a message to the multitudes. Every share, every offering, every seed allows this prophetic voice to pierce through darkness and reach the one still under attack. In Malachi 3:10, the Lord says, "Bring the full tide and see if I will not open the windows of heaven." That is not poetry, that is activation. When you give, windows open. When you sow, the atmosphere responds. This is your trigger moment. The whisper tried to shut you down, now so to raise up others like you. You can move through YouTube's super thanks, memberships, or the PayPal link in the description below. This is a spiritual act, not just financial support. When you give, you shift atmospheres. Obey now. Obey quickly. Sow with intention. As you do, I release the prophetic blessing over you. Your name will never be bound again. Your future is fireproof. Your elevation is irreversible. Give now. Partner now. Heaven is watching. A moment has come. A moment of waiting. A moment of watching, but a moment of activation. You've been warned. You've been awakened. You've been shielded. But now, heaven leans close and whispers one question that only you can answer. Will you say yes? Because everything you've been through, the spiritual silence, the unexplained pressure, the unprovoked warfare, the name whispered in darkness, it was all allowed for one reason, to bring you to this decision. This crossroads in the spirit, where heaven no longer asks you to survive but commands you to step forward. Not to hide from the ritual, but to rise from it. Not to avoid the conflict, but to walk into your calling with fire in your bones and clarity in your soul. You must hear this with trembling certainty. Heaven is waiting on your agreement. Not your perfection. Not your credentials. Not your background. Just your yes. Because your yes is not small, it is dangerous. Your yes will unlock doors that have been sealed for generations. Your yes will shift the trajectory of your bloodline. Your yes will cancel assignments written in the dark and activate blueprints designed in eternity. The ones who whispered your name were terrified of your yes. That's why they tried to preemptively bind you. They sensed your moment of power was close. So they moved in desperation. But now, you must move in authority. Because what happens next is not based on their curse, it's based on your choice. You felt the pressure, now step into the purpose. You survived the whispers, now speak the declarations. You've endured the silence, now release the sound. Because destiny is not something that arrives fully packaged. Destiny responds to obedience. It responds to agreement. It responds to movement. And it is waiting on yours. The Spirit of the Lord says, I will walk with those who walk. I will speak through those who speak. I will empower those who obey without delay. And that includes you. Yes, you who almost gave up. You who almost remained silent. You who almost sat still. But now, something is breaking open. Your spine is straightening. Your voice is returning. Your spiritual muscles are waking up. Because you've just realized, you're not a spectator to this warfare. You're a weapon. Your calling is not postponed. Your purpose is not on hold. The ritual that tried to slow you was only heaven's cue to start the race. And now the starting gun has fired in the spirit. This is your moment to move, not in fear, not in haste, but in holy momentum. Walk with power. Declare with certainty. Align your mind, your mouth, and your movement with heaven's rhythm. Begin to speak like the anointed one you are. Begin to move like the chosen vessel you've always been. Begin to reject the lies that tried to settle into your bones. Declare, I am no longer available to delay. I am no longer accessible to confusion. I am no longer in covenant with fear. Because as of this moment, your name is not just free, it is on fire. There are assignments waiting on your obedience. There are souls connected to your voice. There are chains that only your hands will break. The earth is groaning for the manifestation of the sons and daughters of God, and that includes you. The ones who tried to curse you didn't realize they were provoking your awakening. The ones who whispered your name didn't know they were triggering your launch. And the ones who doubted your survival are about to watch your elevation, with no explanation, no apology, and no permission. This is your activation moment. Don't just feel it, step into it. Don't just repeat it, release it. Let heaven hear your yes. Let hell witness your rise. Let the earth feel your shift. Because when the chosen say yes, nothing remains the same. Type ISAYYES to destiny in the comments if you receive this activation. Blessing code 9999 has been released over your next season. Close your eyes for a moment and see it, not with your physical vision, but with your spirit. Above you, between realms, suspended in a realm untouched by man and unseen by time, your name is still being held. It hovers like light caught in a storm. It glows with the residue of every prayer you've prayed, every tear you've cried, every word you've whispered in the dark. And there, in the very air where the ritual tried to claim it, your name is still caught, gripped tightly in the hand of Archangel Michael. What does it mean when your name is held in heaven's atmosphere? It means you are under divine arbitration. You are under holy surveillance. It means the transaction that was attempted has not yet been completed, because heaven interrupted the exchange. Someone tried to send a curse. Someone tried to send confusion. Someone tried to release heaviness into your life. But instead of arriving at your door, it hit resistance in the spirit. Michael stepped between the word and its assignment. He intercepted the file. And now the spirit realm waits not for your enemy's next move, but for yours. This is what the spirit is saying. There is a silent trade taking place above your life right now. A negotiation happening where angels and demons war in absolute silence, in a courtroom not built by human hands. The name spoken in the ritual is not the name being received, because God has changed your name in the spirit. Your identity is no longer vulnerable. Your name is no longer ordinary. It has been sealed in fire. While you sleep, while you work, while you wrestle in prayer, the heavens wrestle with you. You may not hear it, but it is happening. You are not being ignored. You are being represented. Every delay you've experienced, every closed door, every strange shift in atmosphere, it wasn't punishment. It was protection. The battle above your life has required time, because some exchanges are too dangerous to be rushed. God is not letting anything reach you without his fingerprint on it. And what was meant for harm is being rewritten. The whispers are being reversed. The darkness is being recoded. The curse is being deconstructed. Because the one who holds your name is greater than the one who called it. Michael does not drop what heaven assigns. He has held your name through storms, through rituals, through lies, through legal attacks, through demonic ambushes, and he's still holding it. But now, the spirit leans in closer and reveals something even deeper. The name being held isn't just your natural name. It is your destiny identity, your prophetic title, your heavenly role, the part of you that earth has not yet met. That's what the enemy wanted to tamper with. That's what the ritual aimed to interrupt. But it could not land, because heaven had already marked it as untouchable. So yes, while you rested, heaven wrestled. While you wept, angels warred. While you questioned, God confirmed. You have not been forgotten. You have been in spiritual arbitration. And now the verdict is being formed. Nothing spoken against you will stand. Nothing cursed over you will hold. Nothing traded in the spirit will alter what God has already written. But even as Michael holds your name, there is still something being required of you. Agreement. Alignment. Activation. Because heaven can hold what you won't honor, you must now live in a way that reflects what heaven is protecting. Speak as if your words are part of the court. Move as if your every step is recorded. Act as if the angels surrounding you are watching, because they are. This is the season of sacred exchange. What was sent to take you out is being flipped into a testimony. What was meant to bind you is being used to bless you. What was offered in darkness is now being reclaimed in light. And the next time your name is spoken in the Spirit, it won't be in a ritual, it will be in a royal decree. Type "My name is sealed in heaven" in the comments. Blessing code 4444 is surrounding your identity and protecting your purpose. Now comes the moment few ever see, the moment where heaven declares not just protection, not just preservation, but justice. The whisper they thought would ruin you is about to reverberate back to them. The ritual they performed in secrecy is about to become the reason for their own stumbling. Because when heaven intervenes, it does not just protect the righteous, it avenges them. Let this be known. Spiritual justice is already in motion. The reversal has begun. The decree has been issued in the unseen. And what they released against you is now boomeranging with velocity. Not because you fought back, not because you cursed in return, not because you retaliated, but because you remained aligned. You obeyed the instructions of silence, and now heaven speaks on your behalf. Every tongue that rose against you in judgment has been refuted in the Spirit. The darkness that tried to consume your name is now being swallowed by the very pit it came from. The enemy's strategy was real, yes. The whisper was loud in the realm of the unseen. But louder still is the voice of the Lord that thundered, "Touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm." The ritual they tried to release has returned to its sender, not in anger, but in judgment. Because God is not mocked. What a man sows he shall also reap. And if they sowed curses, they will reap chaos. If they sowed confusion, they will drink from the cup they pour. If they tried to disrupt your elevation with darkness, then they will now watch your rising from a place of confusion and collapse. And let me be clear, this reversal is not petty. It is not vindictive. It is not fleshly vengeance. It is the divine order being restored. It is God balancing the scales. It is heaven ensuring that the righteous are not silenced and the faithful are not devoured. You have become the evidence that no ritual is greater than righteousness. You have become the proof that even when your name is spoken in shadow, it is defended in light. They tried to bind what they couldn't carry. They tried to curse what they couldn't contain. And now the very force they invoked has turned back on them, because heaven does not lose custody of its chosen. Feel this in your spirit. Favor is falling on you. Restoration is returning to you. Justice is surrounding you. What you lost, you are about to reclaim. What was stolen is being returned, not in fragments, but in full. Every delay is now a divine setup. Every detour is becoming a doorway. Every betrayal is birthing blessing. The ritual didn't ruin your life. It realigned it. And now, even those who doubted you, dismissed you, and plotted against you will have to watch. Watch as heaven raises you without their help. Watch as the very thing meant to silence you becomes your megaphone of glory. Watch as every false word dissolves in the light of truth. You don't have to explain anymore. You don't have to plead your case. God has already ruled in your favor. Divine reversal is not a theory. It's a spiritual law. And that law is now active over your life. Expect strange favor. Expect sudden clarity. Expect unexpected opportunities. Because the pendulum has swung. The weight has shifted. The whisper has been overridden by the shout of heaven. This one is mine. You are stepping into a realm where everything lost finds you again. And this time, nothing will be able to steal it. You are stepping into a moment where justice will not just be felt, it will be seen. And when they ask how you survived the ritual, you will respond, "Heaven held my name." God reversed the curse, and the Archangel carried the sword. Type divine justice is mine in the comments if you believe the reversal is already in motion. Blessing code 1221 is encircling your path with victory and vengeance. Let it be written. Let it be declared. Let it echo from the throne room to the battlefield. You survived the ritual, and heaven has sealed your name. August 24 will not be remembered as the day of your destruction. It will be remembered as the day of your divine interception, your spiritual unveiling, your holy turnaround. They whispered your name, but they didn't own it. They called you out, but they couldn't call you down. What was meant to bind you has now become a platform for your boldness. What was meant to silence you has stirred your sound. And what was meant to delay your purpose has only deepened your fire. As of this moment, a divine line has been drawn. You are not the same. You are not returning to who you were. You've passed through a gate, and the door behind you has been closed. The version of you that was vulnerable to those whispers, broken by that ritual, and shaken by their secrets, that version no longer exists. Now may the light of the Almighty wrap around your name like armor. May Archangel Michael continue to hover near your steps. May the path ahead be drenched in divine clarity. You are walking forward under an anointing that cannot be revoked, denied, or diluted. Heaven's hand is upon you. The courts have ruled. The case is closed. The silence of God was not his absence. It was his strategy. And now, his voice breaks through. You are sealed. You are seen. And you are being sent. Walk boldly now. Speak wisely. Move silently when necessary, but never without authority. What was meant for evil had been flipped. The 3 minutes are gone, and you are still standing. You are not a target anymore. You are a testimony. The enemy can no longer touch what God has covered. The ritual has expired. The whispers have failed. and the weapon has been broken before it ever reached your spirit. Every dart hath been dissolved, every cursor turned, every shadow exposed, and your name, yes, your name, has been inscribed in light. Go forward now as one who knows the power of being kept, one who hath been through fire and did not burn, one who has walked through silence and still heard the sound of victory. This is your charge. This is your covering. This is your confirmation. Type "I am sealed," "seen," and send in the comments. Blessing code 3131 is now stamped on your spirit. Your covering has been activated in full. If this message has found you, covered you, and awakened you, then don't just walk away unchanged. Partner with what God is doing. This is not just a word, it is a war cry. Every time you give, every time you sow, you help send this word like fire into the hearts of those still trapped in spiritual warfare. Isaiah 55:11 declares, "My word will not return void, but it will accomplish what I please and prosper in the thing I sent it to do." That's what your giving fuels. Not a platform, a prophetic movement, a divine mission to awaken the remnant and intercept the enemy's assignments. This is your moment to act. You can sow through YouTube's Super Thanks, join as a member, or give directly through the PayPal link in the description below. You're not just supporting a video, you're warring for someone else's deliverance. And I speak this now with bold authority. As you release your seed, may every ritual aimed at your bloodline be reversed. May every stolen opportunity be restored. And may God multiply your obedience with overflow and undeniable favor. Don't wait. Sow prophetically. You boldly. Heaven sees, and the Spirit responds.